All right, I'm gonna have to repeat all that. Thanks, White Shark, for pointing out that the sound was broken. I don't know what's up with OBS. It seems to just um, reset audio properties whenever I disconnect my microphone, which clearly is every single time I stop streaming because I don't want to have a microphone attached to my laptop all the time. So yeah, what I said when nobody could hear me was this is going to be a pretty chilled stream. I have an EVGA superclocked GTX 980 that I haven't run at all really yet so far, and I also have a 980 Ti, a classified, and I just want to run them a little bit on GPUpi. Internet seems to be pretty stable, so that's good. Well, as I say that, I'm just seeing some dropped frames. Hey, it's that HEDT 4-core thing. Man, that chip does like almost 7.2 gigahertz in single threaded benches, so it's one of the best chips ever. I wish I know there briefly was some sort of a 2-core rumor that at least Gamers Nexus talked about on 2 cores on X299, and that would have been amazing. All those extra pins for power delivery for a 2-core would have been absolutely insane, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. In fact, some people were saying that there might be like a Coffee Lake or a Cascade Lake KB like X equivalent on X299, but it looks like that's not going to happen either. But the good aspect of that is that maybe these chips that I've got will remain the 4-core and single core champions for a long time. So yeah, I know it's kind of gone completely the other way, hasn't it? Even though I'm not surprised about End of Life for KB Lake X, because clearly Intel just released it in order to be able to put liquid helium on it and say, here we go, this is a better chip than the last generation. Like, they just bin the absolute shit out of it and put liquid helium on it. They also did liquid helium on the 7700K at the time, but they were just able to sort of squeeze out a little bit more and say this chip is better. I don't think they ever expected to make any money out of those chips. But saying that, I wouldn't put it, or let's say a year ago, I wouldn't have put it past them to repeat the same trick on Coffee Lake as a Coffee Lake X, or a Cascade Lake as a Cascade Lake X. But it's starting to look like there just has been a bit too much fucking around by the mainboard manufacturers, saying that they'll only support Skylake X, and maybe the sales have been even worse than they expected, and they've just put a lid on it. So tonight, for the first time in a while, I'm back on the beer. So this is let's see, Canberra Pale Ale, made in Canberra, in our nation's capital. I believe somebody in chat lives pretty close to there. So yeah, my Nightbot is in full effect. I have both my beer and beer count updated. So this is beer number 1, hopefully of many. The beer will be terrible. Come on, so little faith. Cheers, everybody, especially to the Europeans. In Germany, we have this thing called Frühschoppen, which is having a beer really, really early in the day. It's passed off as a tradition, but it's really just for people to get drunk early in the day. Hey, Lord Nickel. So basically, the reason I'm streaming is because I have to test these cards anyway. I know the entertainment value, or let's say the educational value, will not be very high. It'll be similar to my SuperPi stream a couple of days ago, maybe even worse. Let's see if we can make it even worse. But the reason I can't stop myself from streaming, even though I don't have so much benching sort of lined up, because my SS is still broken and I don't have LN2 at the moment. The reason I'm streaming is pretty simple. Hopefully I can show you guys. I have 43 followers at the moment, and at 50 followers I will be ready to get an invite from Twitch to become an affiliate. For those who are not aware, there are basically 3 levels of involvement in Twitch. There's just a regular streamer, affiliate, which is what I'm aiming for, and partner. And the trend in recent times is that Twitch doesn't, because it's sort of an invite only thing, Twitch doesn't give partner to many people, because they make more money off affiliates, but also it's hard to even fulfill the requirements for a partner. So the requirements are, let's see, so just under path to partner, this is what it looks like when you're a streamer, by the way. This is your achievements dashboard. So stream 25 hours in the last 30 days. I will actually make that requirement today. So that's just a quantity thing. So, I mean, that's easy to do. Stream 12 unique days in the last 30 days. That's also not that hard to do. I mean, unless you're going to have mammoth streams, if you're streaming 25 hours in the last 30 days, you've probably already met 12 unique days in the last 30 days, or you're really close to it and you just have to do one more stream and you're good to go. But the really tough one, of course, is 75 average viewers in the last 30 days. And as far as I'm aware, they don't even count hosts in that. So on a good day, I get an average viewer count on my stream, even across like a 3-4 hour stream, of maybe 9 or 10 people at the moment. So 75 is just next level. And to do that across an entire month is just way beyond what I'm capable of at the moment. But partner doesn't really add all that much. Affiliate gets you emotes and things like that, and lots of subscriptions are unlocked. I don't know if I'll actually enable that straight away, but at least it's an option. Currently that's not an option. But as you can see here, so 8 hours in the last 30 days, I easily passed that. As you just saw, I'm closer to 25 hours in the last 30 days. 7 unique days in the last 30 days. That's one of the reasons I'm streaming today, is because this is going to be my 7th unique stream in the last 30 days. So after this stream is done, this will be ticked. An average of 3 viewers in the last 30 days. I'm comfortably above that. And so basically the first 3 are gimmies at the moment. But 50 followers, I'm just, like I was showing you earlier, 7 followers away. So Lord Nickel or whoever else is new in the chat, please just do me that one favor and click the follow button. You can turn off the notifications. I don't care. I know that it's spam, or you mightn't want to check out my stream too often, but just click that one button. It really helps me out because I'm so close now. It's obviously a lot harder to get from 0 to 43 than it is from 43 to 50. But if it happened today, that would be amazing. Okay, let's get back to what I'm actually benching. And the chat, which has been quite active while I was rambling away. You bought your metal from Impact Ireland Cork branch. I used to live in Cork, not the city, the county. I streamed socket repair and got 5 views. Nice. Socket repair on what? LGA 775? I would assume is one of the easier ones. You've given up on 478. What's the problem with your 478 rig? So you've tried different VGAs. Oh, 1151. Well, I suppose it's easier to repair than 2066. Maximum 8 formula? What? M8? Didn't know that was a thing. Maybe you can fill me in on exactly what that board is. Alright, let's just give a brief introduction to what I'm going to do. On the screen right now we have, I'm just using my Apex because it's a pretty nice board to look at. But I actually have my my GT710 in there at the moment. I was just curious how well it would scale, because the temps at the moment are 16 degrees. I have my heating off and it's winter. 500 plus pins, maximum's 8 formula. I know there's a Rampage 4 formula, so that was the 4 dim version, slightly cut down version of the Maximus 4 Extreme. I'm not really sure what else they released in the formula sort of SKU or whatever you want to call it. I don't think formula is a thing anymore on well, you just told me there was an 8 formula, but there's no Maximus 9 formula surely. It's all called Hero and Code now, and Apex and Extreme. 9 degrees idle. But it's, well, you're in Canberra. Come on. I mean, that's not fair. Okay, so pretty decent temps. I have a Delta fan blowing at it. I've just finished a run of 7 minutes 30. I haven't fiddled around with batch and reduction yet, but I'm at plus, let's open MSI Afterburner. I'm at plus 325 GPU clock at the moment. It's been giving me absolutely no trouble, so I'm just going to start another run and then I can catch up with chat. Let's go 25. Let's leave Afterburner open and just actually just going to confirm in GPU said that it's really set. Sometimes that, yeah, okay, we're good. Okay, just starting the run. Maximus 10 formula. So what I don't get about aces, there are many things I don't get about aces, but one of the things I don't get about aces is all the different SKUs that they have. So okay, so Maximus is their mainstream socket, fine, it's been called Maximus since God knows when. Rampage is their high-end desktop, that's fine. So right now on Rampage, on the Rampage side, they have the Apex and the Extreme. I don't think there's anything else there. That's really simple. So the Apex is an XOC board with only 4 DIMMs, makes perfect sense to me. The Extreme is more sort of a show-off board with lots of fan and AIO header or like water cooling headers and stuff. And you've 2 SKUs there, and they both have sort of a reason to exist. But by now, like by the Maximus 10, so Maximus is the so Rampage is HEDT, Maximus is the mainstream. So in the past you had Maximus Impact, Maximus Gene, and Maximus Extreme, I suppose. So that makes sense as well. It's 3 different form factors: ITX, MATX, and just regular ATX. And then you may have had like an Extreme and a Hero. So Hero would be the 4 dimmer board, or I don't know, back then they were all 4 dimmers, but the Hero might be the cheaper version of the Extreme. That all makes sense. You have only 2 different ATX boards. But now with 10 and 9 as well, I think you have Code, Maximus 10 Code, Maximus 10 Extreme, Maximus 10 Apex, Maximus 10 Impact doesn't exist anymore. Gene doesn't exist anymore. So it's all ATX boards. They've actually gotten rid of the small form factors. I don't know. Can somebody explain it? Yeah, Extremes are EATX. Like, what is the difference between a Hero and a Code? Is there even a difference? There's probably like 1 extra fan header. I don't know. I don't want to rant too much, but yeah. Things are happening, guys. We're at 44 follows now. Yeah, Crosshair, AMD, yeah, Maximus. Yeah, that's all fine. I mean, the first name, the first word in the name makes total sense. They haven't inflated that, but then the sub names are just ridiculous. Rog armor. So since I'm in Australia, I'm going to eat some snakes. That's what we do down here. If you don't believe me, come down here on holidays and you'll see lots of people eating snakes. How's the run doing? Batch 9. Nice. Rog hammer the leads. Oh yeah, I think these exist in Ireland as well. I'm not being paid to do product placement here, believe me. I just like these things. Okay, just gonna have a look at the rankings. I mean, I'm not going to be competitive, obviously, with no voltage control and just a fan blowing at the card, but be interesting to see. So stock memory, what's stock memory? I don't even know. Well, okay, I'm gonna check. Yeah, stock memory is 800. So all these guys have raised their memory to, probably just because they can. But I like to up my memory as well a little bit, even though I'm on the Nanya IC. So there was a cheap ass chips competition a couple of years ago, I think, where obviously Strong Island just went completely balls to the walls and LN2'd the thing and got, you know, like 100% overclock. Obviously that's not what I'm doing today, but he found a reason to overclock memory by 400 megahertz. So I might, once I've maxed the core, I'm going to do that. I don't know. I mean, I'm at plus 350 already, stock volts. I don't expect this to go on for too much longer. I might go plus 400 next and see what happens. Yeah. So otherwise, once I'm sort of tired of GPUpi, I'll maybe do a little bit of max DDR4. I can show you. Let's make this as visual as possible. I have quite a few bits of DDR4 lying around. So I have 2 sticks of B-die in there. And I've labeled all my DIMMs. I've got a kit of Trident Z RGB. RGB is the best for max frequency, and I've got two kits of Flare X. I haven't really pushed the RGB yet, so I'm curious where it'll go. But I have to say that I've done this on Win 7 before on this board, and I didn't go very far on the RGB with the 7640X. But if I'm seeing the same thing again today, I'll just quickly take it out of the socket and put the 7740X in there, because I have sort of noticed that the IMC isn't the best on this chip. The chip itself, the core itself is just golden, but yeah, the IMC is not great. So I'll see how far I can get with that. These are 3866 pins, CL18. So CL18 is pretty high. Maybe XMP profile is already loose enough to get max frequency. Oh yeah, thanks all for coming. We've got quite a few people in chat already. A few new people too, so please press that follow button. I'm 6 followers away from getting to affiliate, and that's amazing. I didn't think that would happen so quickly. Yeah. What happened was, Lord Nickel, I didn't know any better. I mean, my approach to overclocking has always been, and I'm only doing this for a year now, so I'm not really talking from a vast knowledge base here, but my approach has always been either throw the worst cooling possible onto your chip and just do efficiency testing and pre-testing and tweaking, or just go single stage or above. And before I got a single stage, I didn't even think like single stage was worth it. I thought, oh, you know, I don't have much time, let's just LN2 whenever I can. But now I've come around a little bit to that, you know, single stage is worthwhile and LN2 is worthwhile, and everything in between, not really. Although I am trying to get a chiller up and running. Okay, so that's the 7 minutes 21. Hopefully you can see all this. So here are my results files so far. I think stock was 839, plus 50 was 816, 754, 739. Then there was a weird result. I think I was just messing around with the OS too much, because the card is so slow that if you do something with display out, it just slows it down. So that's a 7 minute 30 was my last one, and now we have a 7 minute 21. I'm so used to GPUZ. I'm so used to 2D benches that I may forget GPUZ sometimes here. I'm that bad at it. So what was up with your Cascade? I think you got it free from a guy in Dublin. I remember that. I was pretty jealous. And was it? I mean, was it in a working order when you got it, or did you have to do something to it? Why are you rebuilding it now? Is basically what I'm asking. Yeah, and to those who weren't around for previous streams, I know my main video is a bit shaky, but Truthman from Overclocking TV has sent me a capture card, and it's in the mail at the moment, on the way from Taiwan to Australia, so it should get here pretty quick. All right, let's go higher. Is plus 400 gonna work? It applied at least. There we go, plus 400. I leave sensors open just to make the whole thing a bit more visual. That's the wrong button. If anyone doesn't know, Alt plus C opens up the calculate window. Same in SuperPi 32M. It's really useful if you're just rerunning all the time. Does anyone actually know of a GPU architecture where OpenCL is faster than CUDA when available? Yeah, Bilko. So what were my last two streams? Yesterday, or sorry, 2 days ago was SuperPi 32M, because I had just gotten my XP image working for X299. So before that, I had no working Turbo V, which is a huge pain, because clearly you can't usually boot up an OS at 7.2 gigahertz. So that's an issue. And then obviously when you're getting towards the limits of the IMC and the RAM, you really want to be able to tweak DRAM and DRAM termination voltage in OS as well. So what happened was I had an image that was based off Barbonet's XP image, which is well regarded by everybody really in the XOC world, but it was modified by Suzuki, and Suzuki is a good bencher as well. But what he'd done is he just completely tailored it down to just the Maximus 9 Apex, including like disabling installer service and stuff, to the point where I couldn't even install my own version of Turbo V. So there was a rolled up version of Turbo V which didn't work on the Apex, on my Rampage 6 Apex. So it took me a while to figure out that that's what was happening, because everybody I was talking to was telling me, well, yeah, Barbonet's image is good. Why is your Turbo V not working? That should work. But then I figured out that it wasn't the sort of vanilla Barbonet XP image. It was based off that, but modified significantly. So I got the base image, and I added Turbo V there myself. So now I have a pretty nice XP. I don't have a WASA partition yet. I just have ERAM, but everything else is working well. So yeah, my current subs for PiFast and SuperPi 1M and 32M are on server 2012, which obviously stinks. So I'm looking forward to rerunning that chip on XP. So I did some efficiency testing. I got all the way down to 6 minutes 6 seconds for the low clock challenge, 5 gigahertz, which is pretty crap. The best is 5 minutes 52. But I have to say that chip only has 6 megabytes of combined smart cache, or whatever it's called. So I'm thinking that might be hurting it. But also my sticks are weak. My sticks can't WASA, and lots of issues. But I'm getting there. What was my stream before that on Sunday night? I should remember. I think it was my last bit of LN2, and I was trying to get the 4K gold on the Ryzen 7 1700, but it's quite tough because the IMC is either degraded or not good. So it's so bad that at full pot it won't finish a 4K overkill run at all. So it will do a 4K non-overkill run, or 1080p run. So I think I'll have to give up on that. I think I'm going to sell that chip, even though it was my first golden chip. I'm just going to sell it, and at some point in the future, when 1700s are cheap, get another one and try and get that gold, because it's a 37 hardware point gold, so that's amazing. Yeah, but that was not a good use of my final 6 or 7 liters of LN2. It was a fun stream regardless, though. I was able to, I mean, people made fun of me, so that was great. That's what I aim for when I'm streaming: either hit good numbers or get made fun of. Should be faster on 4K non-overkill though. No, okay. Maybe my thought process is a little bit wrong, but I'll try to explain the way I think about it. So, B-Boy G's, this guy from Indonesia, has the 4K. So these are all mine. This is all mine. But then there's this one, and conveniently it's the bench with the highest hardware points. So, why have I not liked this before? I am the only like. So he's using Windows 10, so I can win on OS efficiency, but he's doing overkill. Now, let's pick out my best non-overkill 4K and compare. Maybe I am thinking about it wrong. Let's see. So here I have. So here I'm at 5.4. I think this is a non-overkill run because I had issues setting maximum. But since then somebody's told me a new way of doing maximum, so who knows. So yeah, here we have a non-overkill run with really good RAM, actually, 3200 CL10, and 5.3 and a better OS. Now compare that to, it's hard to compare different OS and all that, different chip. Here we have Windows 10, roughly the same core, overkill mode, and he's got a 14.89, and his RAM is 2600 with worse cache latency. So you kind of see what I'm getting at. I mean, this is actually slower. This is below 14.8. It's got more core. Oh, I subbed wrong. I subbed at 5.4 even though it's 5.347. Anyway, the point still stands. I have more core, more RAM, better OS, everything going in my direction really, and this guy still has 0.1 more FPS. Does it make sense now? Why? I mean, overkill is a lot better. Hopefully I'm not missing something. If I am, please point it out to me. Well, I do know what instructions were used. Don't they show up in the top? Here, just under the used CPU capabilities, I thought everything showed up there. Again, tell me if I'm wrong. Okay, my GPUpi is just finished. Almost sub 7 minutes, which is really nice. 7 minutes 4. Let me get back to chat. Yeah. Are you talking about first gen Bilko? So the general advice was always overkill is better. Overkill is kind of like well, okay. So cold, I get your point, because you've got to set maximum of 3.5 gigahertz gigabytes or above, for even more even. I think with a really pared down OS you might be able to set like 4 and pass and not have horrible performance. But depending on the strength of your IMC, it may force you to run memory so much lower megahertz wise that that then makes the overall run worse. But on ambient, I would imagine that you can just run the same megahertz no matter what. Maximum doesn't make as much of a difference. As I'm dropping frames, just a few. So yeah, I'm surprised to hear that actually. I'd like to hear more about how you tested it and whether you're talking about first gen or second gen, because I haven't seen that at all. So 6 cores, 6 thread. It's kind of like a wash. I don't usually run maximum because it just takes more time and it's more tedious to set up and pass and everything. But yeah, 8 cores. It's always been clearly faster for me. Okay, let's concentrate on getting a screenshot out. Quite surprised by all this scaling. The card must love cold ambient. Oop. Okay, let's go 450. $1,400. And it's a it's a gigabyte card, and it's got the Nanya RAM. So I remember when old school, not old school is best school, cheap ass chips was running, everybody was trying to find GT710s that have Samsung RAM. So I'll see later what difference it makes, but yeah, DDR3. All right, let's just keep all that stuff open and run again. So my batch size is 2M and reduction is 32. So it's I got that from the #1 submission on hardware bot, but that's GPUpi 2.3.4. So could be wrong, could be just absolutely rubbish batch and reduction sizes, but it does run for these really low RAM bandwidth and low RAM capacity cards. Many of the settings available in GPUpi will actually just crash at stock because there's no way to even complete a batch basically due to just them sucking. Nanya RAM, yeah. Yeah, 4K is an interesting benchmark. There's so much you can do. I mean, it's a relatively new benchmark, but I really like it. Except on Ryzen first gen. I'm kind of over it on Ryzen first gen. Yeah, I'm White Shark. What I'm trying to say is BDI needs some kind of setting of max mem below half its size, but I don't think it's as critical on ambient as it is on cold, because on cold you're already struggling with a really bad IMC. Except, Ryzen second gen is completely different to first gen. But so my idea of running the GT710 for GPUpi was just to get started with something, but it's starting to sort of turn into I don't want to call it legitimate benching, but much more legitimate benching than I had anticipated. 100 megahertz effective or like real? You know what I'm talking about. Effective 100 megahertz is 50 real. Time for another snake. So let's say this run ends below 7 minutes. Where does that take us up to? So currently my sub would stand just below Skull Station, which is chilled. It's not bad. and of course much higher megahertz because these are old GPUpi versions. So effectively what we're saying is my last run was at 1350, so that means we're making up like 250 megahertz just with a newer version of GPUpi. Would be nice to beat a dicer, only like a few seconds off. Doubled, okay. That's interesting. Do you have second gen Ryzen yet, White Shark? Been there, done that. Ginger nuts? Oh yeah, your sub is under threat. Let's see what Ginger Nuts ran since he's in chat. Here we go. 27th of July 2016. This is actually kind of crazy. We are benching this exact bench on this exact card with Ginger Nuts in chat exactly 2 years to the day after he did it. How appropriate. And very coincidental, I have to say. Okay, so he was on water and Haswell. It was for the comp. So I'm at batch 14 at the moment and I have a 4-minute 30.2. And he has a 4-minute 30.39. I'm sorry to say, Ginger Nuts, but I'm beating you tonight if this run finishes. Nice. Do you remember anything about this run? How did you? I mean, did you have voltage control? Did you? How all out did you go, or were you just subbing to come just to participate? Oh, an Empower. €250 for a second gen. That's quite a lot. Seems like a lot. Dominator, RAM. So there's a fan over the RAM, but not over. Oh, okay. There is a second fan there. Nice. Okay. What were batch and reduction actually? 1 and 64. Okay, that's that's reasonably close to what I'm using. Okay, back to the list. So we're gonna be beating Ginger Nuts. Who's next? Oh, I know New Life. Maybe we can beat New Life. He was on Chilled even. It had a volt mod and it died. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so you were pushing quite a bit, or intending to push quite a bit, but your car died. Okay, that makes sense. Then beating you is just like a formality, really, because an alive card on a newer version of GPUpi is clearly it's got an advantage over over a card that died midway through a bench session. Okay, let's go back to our run. It's a 6-minute 48. Just half a second faster than Ginger Nuts. All right, grabbing a screen cap. I'm not seeing any artifacting or anything, so I mean, I don't want to jinx it or anything, but this card seems quite happy still. Live cards are better than dead cards. Thanks, Captain Obvious. Nice. I may even get hardware points. a tiny, tiny amount, but I may even get hardware points if I keep pushing this card. So that was 50 megahertz, gave me a scaling of, what was it, 16 seconds. Nice. Okay. Let's keep pushing it. Getting to 1.5 gigahertz on the card would be pretty sweet. Okay, but here's another run. 50 megahertz higher. I keep opening 4 CPU Zs. Okay, back to chat. Yeah, it's a gigabyte card. So I'm kind of attached to this card. I wouldn't want to push volts on it, even though I don't have voltage control, but I'm guessing everybody in cheap ass chips hard modded anyway because they're cheap cards. And I'm also guessing that there's no software utility. I mean, you could always BIOS mod, I suppose, but then it's a single BIOS card. I mean, you're basically risking as much BIOS modding as you would just hard modding it. So I'm guessing everybody in the comp just hard modded because I mean, it's a cheap card. So I bought this card. What happened? I was trying to build an ITX, an M-ATX build, and there was no availability for 1080, 1070s. So I bought this card just to check if my RAM and CPU were okay, I think, and it was the cheapest card available new. And then I eventually got my 1070 and I swapped this one out, but I decided that the gaming build I was trying to build I was not going to game on, so I've parted it out since then. It was Ryzen 5 1600, 32 gigabytes of RAM for some reason, which I sold for a profit because of just the crazy RAM prices. What else was in there? 1070 mini by gigabyte, which Ginger Nuts has now actually. Pretty nice case, water cooling. Yeah, so but now it's my benching card, graphics card. It's just really reliable. I've had absolutely no issues with it. So basically every one of my subs and hardware bought are with this card, with very few exceptions. BIOS control, isn't there always a way of flashing a BIOS though? I could be wrong, but I thought that obviously there's no dual BIOS dip switch or anything like that, but I thought you could always force flash a BIOS onto a card no matter how cheap it is. So XP on Ryzen, who is it? That Chew guy on the forums? BIOS has no voltage control. Okay, I think I'm getting what you're trying to say. So basically the BIOS doesn't expose any registers that will let you like hex edit the voltage or anything. Remark, is it subbed? Should I be going to HardwareBot? Is there like, that would be pretty nice. Chu said that the XP performance was really bad though. In SuperPi at least, which is the only bench. SuperPi and PiFast are the only benches you'd really need it for. Remark. He probably hasn't subbed anything. Oh, he even has his own team. GPUpi is still running. I'm surprised. Okay, let me know if he actually has a sub up. I know. Maybe I should close out. So has he? Okay, you pasted the link. I mean, nobody ever doubted it was impossible or that it was possible. Well, I don't speak Russian. Well, I'll keep an eye on it. There's this massive thread on SuperPi on Ryzen in the HardwareBot forums, where Chu says that the performance for SuperPi 32M was horrible, and that's all I really care to run on XP. Leave my spelling alone. I'm multitasking. Conrad Stan. Batch 19. Sub 6 minutes. I like it. Still getting some drop frames for some reason. Gonna drop my video rate, bitrate a little bit. So that's a 6 minute 33. That's starting to get up there. Coincidentally, last run beat Ginger Nuts. This run just about beat New Life. So, I mean, I doubt I'll get all as far as Chili Man, but it'll be there's Max Beach as well. It'll be the third best result in Australia. Right. I love it when you don't even take a bench seriously and you end up getting quite good scaling. It's when the opposite happens that it's quite demoralizing. When you're set for a really serious bench session and it ends before it even begins because your chip is bad or you have a cold bug or something like that. So this is a pleasant surprise. 6 minute 33. Alright. Let's go higher. Let's just go higher. Let's keep going until the card is dead or it doesn't scale anymore. That's 1.5 gigahertz on a card that's supposed to be a 950 megahertz card. Pretty impressive. I run out of slider. Let's check how much slider there really is. There's plus 1000. I reckon something else will happen before I get to the end of the slider. Just a feeling. Might have to bench Photoshop and get a good time. You're gonna Photoshop a GT710 time. I don't know how to break this to you, but nobody cares about this GT710. In fact, there's some global firsts and world records out there on hardware bot, which are clearly cheated, that nobody cares enough about to report and take down. Infinite scaling, yes, on a passively cooled card that cost me $40. Not like there's any mods around Kappa. I believe that's the first Kappa I've seen on my stream chat. Well done. You're a pioneer. Maybe I should show off some bling while I'm waiting for this to finish. So this is my EVGA or EVGA. Ooh, invalid result. Nice. I jinxed it. I thought the run was going to finish and I was going to have some time to kill. But actually, this is the first failed one. Did it get hot? No, not really. Okay, I'm just gonna keep dropping by 10 megahertz until I get no more 1.5. Hi Paladin, welcome back. Okay, 10 megahertz down. Happy accidents. Oh, hopefully this runs. So, I got a good deal on an EVGA 980 non-TI. It's the super clocked, so it's sort of the skew. There's like Kingpin Edition, Classified, which is very, very similar to Kingpin Edition, but less links in chat. Yeah, links are allowed. You can post whatever link you want. And then there's the super clocked, which still has a solid VRM and stuff, I think. So this is basically for non-GPUpi benches, so actual 3D benches, this is the highest graphics card allowed, highest level of graphics card allowed in Division 5. So that's what I have that for. This time around, so my hardware bot account is set to Division 5, so that's how I get my competition, my Road to Pro competition points is Division 5, so I go quite hard in that. Division I won round 1, now it's round 2, I want to win that as well. Still got to do all the LN2 subs for that, but it's 3D Mark 11 and 3D Mark 05, I think, for that. Let me just confirm so I don't spread rumors and misinformation here. I even have a bot command for that. Does it comp? Yeah. Just got another invalid result, so I'm just gonna drop down. Another 10. Okay. Okay, so why Division 5 over 4? That's a really good question. Mom, look at me, I'm an overclocker. Hopefully this doesn't get me banned from Twitch. Okay, it's just a result. 5 gigahertz at really, really bad RAM. And a 6 minute 40 best 32 M time. Color me unimpressed. So, Division 5 or Division 4. I like Ryzen, so both are an option. But the problem with Division 4 is the 1080 Ti is allowed. And that's $1,000 graphics card. And I'm not sure I would even want to consider buying and reselling it and run it only at stock. I think if I really put my mind to it, I would possibly be able to win Division 4 with pretty weak 3D results and just really good 2D results. But But the thing about Division 5 is it's less competition, and I have a shot at sweeping all the stages because 3D is not as hard because of the restrictions on the graphics cards. And at the end of the day, I do care a little bit about ranking, and half of your division points count towards ranking. So I just pick whichever division is easiest to win, basically. Which this year is going to be Division 5. If somebody else wants to challenge me and really surprise me with some really good LN2 results in Division 5, then maybe I'll switch to 4 or 6 next year. Who knows? So I've got GPUpi 100M. I'm second there. I'm on SS in those results. Just make it bigger in case. 3 Mark 11. Yeah, I don't have a sub there yet. Some pretty strong results in there already. 3 Micro 5. I have a sub, but it's like the lot is screwed up. I have it on SS, so 4.5 gigahertz CPU. I think the CPU and memory were maxed there, but I just didn't do anything with the card. And Cinebench 15, again second because there's one LN2 result. I'm on SS. And Geekbench 4 multi, again second. So yeah, challenge me. But right now, relaunch GPUpi after failed results. Okay, thanks for that tip. Let's drop our clocks a little bit more. Another 10. Make sure it applied. Yeah, 1470. Let's go. Alright, a lot of chat going on. Pod testing. I'd watch that, yeah. Okay, so that's the 980. It's also a good card for points and things. But let's 980 Ti. Also an EVGA. I have an EV bot that I'll have to flash the right firmware onto for the 980 Ti, because GPUpi 1B on the 980 Ti cold is worth like 60 hybrid points. It's ridiculous. This thing comes with all the accessories. I have the box and everything. I got it for like the same price as any other 980 Ti, even though it's a classified and it's in excellent condition. It even still has, can you see that? It even still has the little sticky stuff on it. It's amazing. I mean, I'm impressed. So I think that will be going into the system after the 710 is maxed out. It even has the sticky tape still on the back plate. Okay, let's see. So the previous owner, I bought this in a local overclockers forum. The previous owner bought the card, I think new, and yeah, he just ran it through a couple of benches to make sure it worked, and then kind of figured out he actually didn't need it, and he sold it on. I mean, I think he had it sitting around since launch or something in his house. It's really weird. Lucky to get it. Lord Nickel, is your 32B, is that cold? Let's just look at it now. Why not? Looks like this GPUpi is finishing. That's good. Slow interwebs down in Australia. I assume it's third because, yeah, there's no cold results. There's just Slinky first. We're at batch 8. So we've got, oh, you're chilled. You have a chiller. You what kind of chiller do you have? Do you have an I mean, like a homebrew sort of thing, or a Hylea, whatever they're called? What kind of chiller do you have? Let's see if it's in the sub. Nice pick, by the way. Homebrew as fuck. Need more details here. Tell me, what's so homebrew about it? Okay, no rig picks. Fail. 1600. You getting a like from me. So, well, we can look at the GPUpi version at least. That's 3.1, isn't it? I think I need glasses. Can't see. Yeah, 3.1. Well, 3.1 and 3.2 are pretty identical in most scenarios. So Mandrake is quite a few minutes faster. He's chilled, but he has a rig pick. Well done. But he must be at on 2.3.4. He must be quite high on, yeah, an extra 150 core. GPUpi is still running, and he's on the old version. And then Slinky probably has just ultra binned, also 2.3.2, 3.4. Yeah, White Shark, I think you're right there. I haven't seen any differences between 3.1 and 3.2. 2.3.4 to version 3x, massive difference, and then of course 3.3 was just insane. So Slinky is at 1750, but you know, your regular everyday Slinky efficiency. That's good. So let's check this card out. What kind of hardware points are to be had here? Ugh, one too many. So 1B, I think that's our friend of the stream, George Storm, is the 1B sub, so he's quite good at taking cards sub-zero. I'm not going to try that anytime soon. But I may LN2 the card just to grab this quick 21 hardware points. 32B. It's half an hour on LN2, but should be able to do it sort of, you know, at minus 50 or something, provided, and this is always a big proviso because I'm really bad at 3D drivers and 3D setup in general, but provided I can get, you know, voltage control and all that, which on EVGA card hopefully isn't so bad. I don't know if the Superclocked has EVBot support, probably not, but oh, rig pick, yes, thanks for that. I'll throw that up. A chiller on an 8400 GS. So is it, let's see, so is it Ice Cube based, or is it like an AC unit hooked up to a pump and res and stuff, or what? I'm curious. Meanwhile, GPUpi is finished. See if it has the header. Okay. White Shark, you talk way too much sense sometimes. It's hard to compete. So, just gonna check the side. Here I have a side profile just to give you an idea of how much bigger the TI is. The 980 at the time when it was released was a little bit of a disappointment to some people. Not that much better than the 780 Ti, but the 980 Ti really improved things. So here you can see, hopefully, so two 8 pins on the 980 Ti, two 6 pins on the 980, but right here, that's the EVBot header. It's got quite a few pins in there because, oh, I'm not sure what this header is actually. It's an additional header, but back here is EVBot. Take the goddamn phone off. I don't know. Maybe I should trigger you by not taking it off. So yes, no EV bot header, but I would expect pretty okay bias support by EVGA for extra volts and stuff. Probe it. Okay, yeah. Okay, so then you have some wires running out of there where you can connect to your digital multimeter. Makes sense. Makes sense, guys. We're talking way too much sense today on stream. Way too much. I'm impressed. I really am impressed. Ugh, okay. Can't fit everything in the screenshot suddenly. As long as the batches are visible, I think you can squeeze in whatever you want. As long as the batches are visible and the checksum down here. So that was a 630 run. Another 3 seconds improvement. I'm now going to pump the memory a bit, just to see what I can get out of that. But we're approaching the end of this card. I may like down res as well. Okay, memory did apply. So Bilko does restarting GPUpi always help between runs? I've heard from some people that you should actually reboot your system. If you're really going for a record, you should reboot your system for every fast run. Now, it makes sense to me that after a failed run, you would want to restart, but should you restart the program also between every single run? Okay, what have we got in chat here? An oscilloscope. I mean, the only use for oscilloscopes that I'm aware of for OC, and I'm sure you're going to correct me here, was if you look at Sophos's legendary DDR3 max frequency run, he has an oscilloscope in there, like to add validation basically to make sure that the screenshot isn't faked and stuff. But getting a screenshot, getting an oscilloscope that will actually scope the real rate of a DDR3 RAM module, which is, if you're going for world record, is like 2,000 plus. They're really expensive, those oscilloscopes. So yeah, I know somebody who has like a 300 megahertz oscilloscope, and that was already $300. Invalid result. If anyone hasn't seen this sub, it's really worth looking at. So 2,300 megahertz, so 4,600. That's already that's not even a bad score for DDR4. Never mind DDR3. So here you see his setup. It's the Z97 Sock Force LN2, of course. So that's a legit oscilloscope. He was using that to scope 2,000 megahertz. That's pretty good. What else is here? So yeah, obviously cold IMC and cold RAM. Even though that pot on the CPU is a bit weirdly rectangular. Yeah. He even has a video. Nah, I'm not gonna play that. That's just gonna destroy my. But check it out. This is gonna be the most redundant link post ever, but here you go. That's the sub. Digital signal analyzer, VRM cap modding. Okay. Back to my bench. Interesting about the memory destabilizing things so much. Let's go for 50. I don't know. Oh, it's the internet. That's right. Well, look, at least we have snakes we can eat, so. Use Envy Inspector to lower mem. Okay. I'll try that next run, thanks. Yeah, bad idea. To try and play a video and I can just send you the link instead. This run is looking better. Teasius.ie. Not sure I want to open that link on stream at least. CPU pod. Oh, is that your pod? You're actually already selling this stuff. Under construction. Okay, I won't go there then. Not quite. Yeah, web design sucks. Nobody likes web design, I think. Power budget. Yeah, that could be the problem, to be honest. A milling machine. You mean one of those rotary milling things? Remember those from metalworking class in high school? Yeah, 90 degrees isn't very good looking. For I mean, I bought the Venom because it looked nice. Bilko, you missed I don't know, some failed runs of GPUpi? Oh, Darth Resin, did you have you actually run this exact card? No, it must be a different card you ran. What are those? I think Bilko, you may have missed the EVGA GTX 980 Ti as well. Still has the foil on it, and it's going to trigger White Shark. Foil front and back. Front and back. Okay, you missed nothing then. As you're well aware, this is a low content stream. So most of the time when you go AFK for 10 minutes, you miss absolutely nothing. Plastique. Batch 14, this might be better. Don't make me come down there. Come down to Australia, it's a great place. That's nice. Nice. Looking forward to getting my capture card. What are I/O caps? I've been doing that build code, but to be honest, I haven't really been rerunning at the same clock, so I can't really compare. I believe you though. You put quite some hours into GPUpi at Country Cup. You must know what you're talking about. Oh, yeah. But I sometimes buy GTX 200 series cards and they still have I/O caps on them. So that's not as unusual in my eyes as having the damn clear plastic still on it. I just noticed that Buildzoid is in the rankings as well at 6 minutes 8 on dice. That would be fun to beat, but yeah, I don't think that's happening. Okay, I've got to complete a run. Excitement, hype. So the last run was 6 minutes 32:15, and now we have 6 minutes 30:169. Okay, that's a little bit unimpressive. Still saving it though. An improvement is an improvement, guys. It's all about being incremental. Oops. What did I want to do? NV Inspector. Yeah, someone's got to help me here on how to reduce clocks. Okay, so these are just all the different profiles. Sensor monitoring, show overclocking. Oh, here we go. Fans, auto, memory clock. Should I just go down all the way? That might be a bit too much. What was the recommendation? Drop it like 100. I think dropping it 100 would be sensible. Oh yes, I have voltage control in here. Let's do it. A quarter of a millivolt. A quarter of a volt, I mean. Does it do something? Let's check in GPU said. Okay, let's go here. That really didn't do anything. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna adjust P1 and P2 or whatever. My VDDC isn't going up, but I'm just gonna keep it at that. Ooh. Okay, I'm just run 32p and adjust voltage. Okay. Let's see. Let's open GPUZ again. Hi, Jim Dum Jammin. Welcome to the stream. Okay, now we're at 1.15. That looks good actually. Yes, that is applying something. Great. Okay. Let's just go balls to the wall here. Mem minus 100 I think is a reasonable starting point. Our last run was plus 520. Just gonna confirm in MSI Afterburner. Plus 520 was what we ran last. With the extra voltage and the memory being dropped, let's just try 550. Let's try 550 and see what happens. People are dropping the knowledge bombs here. Does real time? I think for GPUs, real time priority doesn't do anything, does it? Let's go back to 1B. See what happens. So Jim, this is a GT710 with a Delta fan pointed at it. It's my usual benching GPU. Doesn't help much. That means it helps something. My temps, I'm not showing the temps at the moment, but the temps are like 16 degrees. It's winter and I have my heating off. Off screen does, yeah. I'll drop res and maybe off screen later. I'll see how it goes. And I'm at like plus 500 megahertz now. And res and bit depth, yeah. I'm aware of those. I just want to get the clocks. Are you saying that they're helping in terms of clocking the card or helping in terms of score? Because I haven't applied any of the few little tweaks that I know so far. So Jim, just to get you up to speed, I'm kind of just running whatever I have lying around my benching room at the moment. I'm tantalizingly close to the 50 follower mark, which is important for becoming a Twitch affiliate. So if you haven't pressed follow yet, please press it. I'm also really close to some other benchmarks, like streaming 7 days and 7 unique days within the 30-day period and stuff like that. So I really wanted to just stream just to hang out and just get a stream on the books. And I'm out of LN2 but my next stream I think will be a lot more prepared and less sort of chill out mode than this. I mean, what's more chilled out than running GPUpi on a $40 card that's unmodded? But I'm having fun. I'm climbing up the rankings. So we've beaten, I think he's not on the stream anymore, but we've beaten Ginger Nuts already. You're not seeing my mouse pointer, that's a bit annoying. I have a 6 minute 30 run. It'd be kind of nice to beat Lumi. I'm only 6 seconds away from that. That'd be kind of funny. But the one caveat is I am benching on GPUpi 3.2. These results are, the majority of them were done during cheap ass chips 2 years ago on GPUpi 2.3.4. So I have an extremely unfair advantage here. That's why I'm beating people on chilled and all sorts of setups. What have you been benching recently? Are you planning to, do you have LN2 left? Are you planning to rebench some of the Divisions Ryzen stuff that I saw you post? I mean, I beat your AMD PiFast record. You'll have to come back with something there. Can't let that stand. Yeah, I don't know if anybody in chat knows this. Yeah, okay. 1 second, I'll get back to the whole efficiency talk, but I benched, what did I bench? I benched, a while ago now, I had a 6-hour stream where what happened was my only second gen It's hard to type and talk at the same time. My only second gen chip is a 2600X that I bought at launch for the launch day benching and all that. And the first copy of it I killed the IMC. Well, me in collaboration with Turbo V-Core killed the IMC. Turbo V-Core fucked up and I didn't realize until it was too late. So I had to RMA that chip, so it took a while. So I only had a very small handful of cold results, or well, I had SS results, but I had only 2 or 3 LN2 results on that chip before it died. So I RMA'd it. Then I moved apartments. I did an LN2 bench for over a month. And my first LN2 delivery, I knew I wanted to run LN2 on the 2600X again, because second gen Ryzen is just amazing. No IMC issues. So it was a 6-hour session. I streamed it, and one of the results I got was a 5.65 gigahertz PyFast run. So I think your run was just under. This GPUpi is passing, by the way. This run was. Your run was just under 15 seconds. I stopped at 14.5. I didn't hyper optimize this. I think my RAM is decent for an X370 board. The RAM is quite okay. It's 3800 CL12. I did disable 1CCX and downcore and disable hyperthreading. Well, SMT. But there's clearly room for improvement here. And this is also my only second gen chip. If I were binning chips, I'd get better. But what's the point? First I have to have somebody else beat me. So yeah, that's PyFast. Back to benching and back to the chat. Yeah, but I think your result, first of all, I think you just got a little bit unlucky with a worse chip. And I think you, if I remember right, you didn't downcore, you just ran PyFast sort of to, like as another bench to run within the session. Whereas I made a point, like I ran Geekbench single even to get the AMD Geekbench single record, and all of those benches run so much better with 1CCX disabled because of reduced RAM latency and higher clocks. You, Darth Resin, you enjoy GPUpi because it's accessible for getting into benching. Exactly. It's a way to get your feet wet in 3D, so-called 3D benching, because for me 3D benching is really intimidating. There's so much. It's like having 2 different systems running at the same time, and then you have all that driver fuckery, and it's just, there's so much associated with it. But at least GPUpi, you can kind of reason with it. It's sort of, oh, if I can get my core high, everything's going to be okay, kind of thing. And I even like it on CPU, because I got my first. One of the reasons is I got my first global first on it, but also because I really like Ryzen, and Ryzen first gen had such a bad IMC that GPUpi is one of the few benches, first of all, where it was competitive, but also where you didn't go crazy because of IMC issues. Okay, this is going well. So 6 minutes 20. That beats Lumi, I think. Let me go back to it. Yes, Lumi had 6 minutes 24. Next up as a target would be Billzoid, 6 minutes 8 seconds. Let's go higher. Let us go higher. I'm not going to stop until I get a hard crash or something, and maybe not even then. So we're plus 550 at the moment. Let's try 600. With that extra voltage and the memory drop down, this is not an unreasonable clock to attempt. First pass. Okay, that's a good tip by Darth Resin. Thanks. I mean, yeah, you gotta love GPUpi. It's a well supported bench. I'm not aware of sort of dodgy tweaks or cheats or whatever you want to call it, because it's a bench that's it even integrates the whole high precision timer aspect into it, where it won't even let you save a validation file if the timer is disabled. And obviously, validation file is amazing as well if you compare that to something like W Prime, where there must be a lot of dodgy subs out there. Yeah, so it's a good bench. Who would have known that? Who would have thought that my benching graphics card has got this in it? So I'm gonna note the first pass. We're about 10 seconds, 10.1. It is cold in here. Not sure I could I could replicate this result in the summer. Yeah, I don't know if I'll bother to downrise and stuff, but I want to max the core. Clearly, there's still some life left in this core. Mick is complaining about heat. What is going on with my face cam here? Weird changes in contrast and stuff. I suppose it's just the screen changing as I'm flicking around, alt tabbing. Anyway, so what's everybody else benching? What's on your sort of to-do list? I'm gonna get another beer while that's running. eBay bargain. Which GPU is that? Cheers. 1080 Ti Kingpin. Are you sure it's not a scam? I mean, I don't want to like put you down or anything, but a 1080 Ti Kingpin on bargain is interesting. But if it's a real bargain, then well done, and bench it. Do you bench 3D Sub-Zero? There's no right answers, Bilko. I mean, 5970 is an amazing GPU to bench, and 6990 as well. iPerf, nice bench. Best bench. So, Jim, are you doing Legacy 3D or regular 3D? Because I'm gonna be benching Legacy 3D relatively soon, probably my next batch of LN2 with that 7.1 gigahertz chip I've got. Got to run through a stack of cards just like you. What do you use for new stuff. Is it A700K or something? I'm now at 44 followers, 6 more followers to go. Maybe I should just cheat and ask my friends and family to follow at this point when I only need 6 more. Wow, invalid at so late a stage. 611 is that's getting close to Billzoid's sub. What we do, we make sure we restart the bench. Maybe this is where we drop the resolution all the way. And go back into NVIDIA Inspector. Something seems wrong. Did resetting the screen resolution also reset my overclock or something? Oh, that's even worse. Okay, let's see what Afterburner has to say. Nice 17 degrees. Okay, let's restart. Okay, voltage. Oh, now it's snapped into view. Okay, so the same plus 600. Gonna drop memory another. It was a late fail, so I'm gonna drop memory another 50 megahertz. Checking GPUzi that everything's applied as I'm dropping some frames. I use 4G for internet because I only have ADSL, so it gives me higher upload by far, by a factor of 5 or something, but also less consistent. So memory has dropped 150. Still got the plus 600 on the core. Okay, time for some 800 by 600 action. I haven't dropped the memory too far yet. That first batch is about 20 milliseconds slower than last time. I think that's acceptable. So what I want to know is Some people have said that I can run one card as display output and the other card as GPUpi, but I wonder how far that goes. Obviously, both cards have to support whatever driver you have installed. I mean, I think you can install multiple drivers, but let's take, let's keep it simple and say if I have two cards that are new enough to both be supported by the latest driver, does that mean I can run display out on one card and GPUpi on the other? That's what I want to do with the 980 and 980 Ti. We're still running, guys. Still running. Worse. 710 as display. No, I want to bench the 710. I only have one 710. I wonder why I'm getting the earlier fail. It's a bit weird. Let's drop mem even more. Yeah, 200 megahertz mem drop. Let's just check that our voltage is still being applied by doing a 32B run. Yeah, that's looking okay. Back to 1B. Yeah, I think I'm beating builds out one way or another. Really wasn't far off 2 runs ago. Gotta update my beer count. Beer number 2 now. Sadly still the same brewery. One day this is going to become a thing. People drinking beer on stream. Then they'll look back at me and say, that guy, he started it. The other thing about this card is I think there's no 3.3 results, so those are some easy goals. Nah, just not doing it anymore. Okay. Let's... I don't know how much more I can drop my memory. Let's find out. If it's not hurting performance, it's definitely something worth doing. Let's go 250. Yeah, that applied. So this card. So what did I bench for that cheap ass? GPUpi 1B seems to be the only thing. But yeah, there's no 3.3 results. There's no 32B results at all. Maybe I turn that on before I go to sleep, run it overnight. One M and 2M, yeah. I saw some results that were 1M and 64 reduction size. That might be worth it. So who's benching Team Cup? Is there going to be an AMD Team Red Team Cup effort, Bilko? I know you don't have many people on the team, but you know, you can still submit. Waiting for that batch 5, crucial batch 5. This is where it always fails. Higher reduction size. Okay, let's try 1M. It can't be that much slower. Let's go 1M64. Well, sorry, I just had a fail, so I'm going to restart. 1M64. Three active members is all you need. It's about competing, not winning it. Oh, Jim is benching. Are you in? I think you're in Team MLG, aren't you? I mean, I know you're on the r/overclocking Discord, but I think you're just one of those spies, you know. So yeah, what I asked earlier, I don't know if anybody has any idea, but is there actually a card where, oh, you are r/overclocking. Sorry for calling you a spy. There's so many of us, you know. It's hard to keep track sometimes. Yeah, so GPUpi gives you the option of either running via OpenCL or CUDA. And I just know from Geekbench Forward Compute that CUDA is always faster. But I was just wondering if there's any sort of really low-end card that has support for both frameworks, I suppose, both languages, where OpenCL is actually faster. Come on, batch 5. You can do it. I even have a command for my team. Alright, that's not doing very much. I mean, is there even something below 1M? There isn't. Okay. I'll try any ideas, but I think at this point the card is heated up a little bit as well. But I think the sensible thing at this point is to go down 5 megahertz at a time. Or maybe 10 megahertz at a time. The 800 by 600 seems to have made things worse for some reason. Okay, that's all good. That's a failed run, so I'm relaunching. The 780. Yeah, 780 is weird in so many different ways, isn't it? 10.10, 10.1 is still a good, acceptable first batch. Are you saying because if it passes then 2M is faster, or just sort of for consistency's sake? Because I would assume if it's going to pass at these clocks at 2M, it's going to pass 1M as well. I suppose I could wait until batch 5 appears and then cancel it and go back to 2M. I think that's a reasonable compromise. I was saying in my previous streams that I'm probably going to be making Friday my regular streaming day. So Friday evening Australian Eastern time, and that's kind of like European morning time. So far that's been my most consistent day where I've been able to stream most weeks. Okay, that's identical. So this is sort of my third or fourth stream within a week, but in the long term it'll be once a week with some extra thrown in here and there, depending on what I have to bench, what, you know, whether I have LM2 or not. Okay, going back to 2M, just for luck. Yeah, I agree. Better reference point. Ooh, that's quite a bit slower. I'll let it finish, obviously, because it at least tells me what clocks I can do. Yeah, White Shark. I'm not sure. My level of confidence in terms of how good I am with 3D is pretty minimal. Let's see what subs are in there right now. So 05, obviously there's no point in running cold. It's all CPU limited, so definitely not running 05 cold. So we've got Johan in here, who's a pretty decent AMD clocker. What is he running? So he has his pretty good 2600X on water. We're at batch 4, by the way. He's gotten a 24% overclock out of his GTX 980. Oh, it is a 980, so it's going to be interesting running 260X and 980 against each other. It's going to be all about the RAM and stuff. So 3800 CL14 is pretty weak sauce. I can beat that. We have a batch 5. Nice. What did I change? I just went down 10 megahertz, I think. He's got a 16,000 physics. That's really bad. That's awful, I think, for a 6 core. I'm trying to think. What was my physics? I don't know. It doesn't impress me anyway. He's on the Horus Gaming. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I need cold. I'll see. I think I'll run a relatively short session, 3 Mach 11 on cold, on CPU cold only. Well, first I'll run air and max out the card, maybe liquid metal it and stuff, and see what I can do. And then I'll run CPU cold, and if I'm behind, I can still finish the session early and run the GPU cold. I mean, I have 90 liters of Dewar capacity, but there's always something more important to run. And Divisions just doesn't give you any hardware points or globals or anything. So if I'm going to be running a 980 cold, I'd like to run it maybe on Threadripper for more recent benches, or on the 7640X for legacy. Sorry to disappoint. I'm sure you'd love to see it cold, but it's just a waste of LM2, really. Slowly up the mem. Yeah, makes sense. What BIOS revision is Johan running, or am I running, or is the card? I'm not really sure what you're referring to there. Oh yeah, no perf bias. Okay, I'm just going to assume you're talking about this result. His bias is F4G. Not sure if this is fast or slow, but it should be pretty fast because my last sub was 20 or 30 megahertz slower than this. But yeah, I'll try 5 more megahertz maybe, and after that I'll up the mem. Got somebody in an Aussie group chat running Cinebench on 7980XE at 5.6 gigahertz. Pretty solid. Yeah, I mean 3800 CL 14. I mean seriously, my crosshair does that at CL12, and he's what is he? He's ambient. Yeah, well, not that that makes any difference on second gen. Yeah, sorry the lower batches aren't displaying, but it's just I'll fix my window next time maybe. I have 5 minute 18 batch 18 going on at the moment. Yeah, that board should really be doing 3800 plus. It should be CLK up to 3900, I think. Even C11 is not completely unreasonable, I think. Batch 19 is out. Hopefully no last batch fail. Uh, 6 minute 15 is slow, I think. Oh, my last result was 620, so I will save that. This other board that you keep mentioning but not talking about. Like, what board is it? It's okay. Once it comes in, you'll share, I'm sure. We can be patient. Okay. So that's 7 seconds off Billzoid. Not sure what I should do. Maybe an off-screen run. What batch and reduction do you run? M 32. I'd like to beat him, but not sure the GPU has it in it. Maybe up the memory bit. I think that might do it for me for this bench at the moment. Unless I just chuck in a 980 and try and get it running as the display. Where are we? Billzoid. Yeah, I'm well clear of Filbert. So we were... No, it's reset actually. Was that screenshot invalid? I think the GPU clock reset. Oh, that was just with NV Inspector open. So was that 550 and 1534? So 5 plus 580 on the core. Okay, I'm gonna chuck in the 980, see if it works. The way I envision it working. Just gonna attach power, obviously. All this time I had my socket heater on, Not attached to the socket, but just sitting on my desk, heating. Not ideal. Yay, there's an extra card now. Off screen and kill explorer. Yeah, those are the tweaks I would try. X470 Formula Z. Does that card even exist? So Bilko, you're saying you're getting two more cards, two more boards, X470. I need a new place to put my beer. It's probably going to spill all over my bench setup in a minute. So it's the only problem with non-legal Win 7 copies. They take forever to boot because they check their legality. So we are installing device drivers at the moment, and once Windows has done that, I may have to reboot, but that's okay. This will be nice if it works. So it makes 6 minutes 15 was what happened. So the GTX failed to install. That's interesting. However, it is recognized by a GPU-Z. Not that I need it to be recognized, because I just need it for display out. It is currently set up as display out, but GPUpi is not giving me the option of benching. Just trying 3.3, also couldn't. Let's try a driver reinstall quickly. I see no reason why it shouldn't work, to be honest. It's just another compute device. If this doesn't work, I'll just give up on the GT710 for now and try to run this dual card setup for the same generation, Maxwell. So maybe it's a generational thing, who knows. Otherwise, I'll just bench the 980. Be quicker, I can tell you tell you that much, than the bloody GT710. So you have a Crosshair 5 Formula Z, Darth Resin? Is that right? Oh man, it's cold in here, but it's all worth it. The fans are spinning now. I thought they didn't spin when... Oh, it's just like a startup procedure. They've stopped spinning. Sabertooth was pretty good. People have gotten 8 gigahertz validations on Sabertooth teeth. Predictably, GPU-Z is blank. That's what we want. Not the Win 10 drivers. Gonna have a bad time. Saber Kitty. Are you going Sub-Zero, or what? What kind of cooling methods do you have, Darth Resin? I wish there must be a way of disabling this weird file checking thing that they do in Windows. Of course, I want to open the file. It's by Nvidia Corporation, damn it. Clearly one of the most upstanding, genuine companies around. I'm definitely going to trust their drivers. Agree. LN2, okay. Oh wow, so you're going LN2 and you're in our team. Well done. Ask us questions if you have any. We can help. What kind of pot do you have? Or pots, rather. Phenom is interesting to bench. I've done a little bit of that Sub-Zero. My experience FX overclocking was I killed a board by just packing it into checked luggage. Bart X, nice. He's a good guy. Come on, boot you stupid OS. I hate it. I need to mod this OS to boot faster in some way. It's pretty ridiculous. Not really sure what's going on. I haven't imaged this OS in a while. If I've screwed it up now by trying to install the driver, that would be a bit of an issue. Yeah. Giving it one more shot with the retry button. Come on, boot. It's not looking good though. It's not supposed to hang on a black screen like this for so long. I've run this card on 3D, so I know the card's not bad. But I think this multi GPU setup might be a bit dodgy. Too much to handle for the driver. All right, I'm pulling the GT710. Good news is that means no more Delta fan noise. Bad news is probably the 980 has even worse fan noise. One spun up. Apex 10. What's the point? The Apex 9 does Coffee Lake. Maybe I need to boot in safe mode. All right. I predict it's GeForce Experience causing all the issues. Okay, let's do a clean driver install for the 980, I suppose. Those are some good drivers. Yes, you're a big Nvidia fan, aren't you? I know. It's almost so much better, isn't it, on the AMD side of things? I wonder what way I should try it. Install the drivers, boot, make sure everything's okay, and then add a card, or add a card and then install the drivers. That's kind of what I did last time, was the second option. Yeah, memory OC is very tedious, I have to say. I don't know what's the best option, but let's try it this way. System path can't be specified. Nvidia, I hate you. No, don't sub XMP. Definitely don't sub XMP. Go for like CL12 loose or something, at least. People will really complain about your subs if you sub XMP. I remember Mahowdy has a really good single threaded Coffee Lake, but he subbed like pretty decent a pretty decent Geekbench for single threaded, but with the memory quite loose, and he was sort of top 10 world or something. But all anybody could say in the comment section is, "What about your memory? Increase your memory." Oh, great sub, great chip, but make your make your memory better. That's all anybody could say. So one bit of advice is at least get your primaries. Go like 12, 12, 12, 28, 240, 1T or something. Nothing outrageous, but at least get that. Reinstalling graphics driver is one of my all-time favorite things to do. Especially cold, you want to put a little bit of effort into your RAM. I wonder if I could flash the 980 Ti to a 980 and then run dual SLI. Or is that also just an AMD thing? Come on. This is the same issue I had. That's really weird. It's just an official driver release. There's nothing special about it. Different core count. Or it's actually a different, like completely different arc. Just double check. I mean, yeah, those are the right drivers. Those are definitely the right drivers. Oh, there's a new release, 398. I can try and download it now, but my stream is probably gonna go horrible. Yep, dropping frames already. I don't know. Let's try the exact same with the 980 Ti. I'd be interested. Then again, if the drivers are bad, the drivers are bad, but who knows? Gotta take out the IO shield. Seems a bit weird. I mean, we've all had performance issues and stuff on drivers, but for a driver to actually bork your Windows install is a bit weird. Yeah, that's why there was that's why there was a massive performance increase, isn't it? Because everyone was a little bit underwhelmed by the 980, so they actually just threw like the Titan core into the Ti and then impressed everybody with that. Okay, one more driver uninstall. What was the 980 Ti up against on the AMD side? Was it the RX stuff already? I thought safe boot was F8, but I could be wrong. Never even heard of a Titan Black. Tried F8, F10. Am I completely stupid? Okay, apparently it is F8. Just gonna mash it. But it's actually the boot menu on this board. Okay, still mashing it. Ooh, okay, here we go. Gonna go back to slightly older driver. No, found new hardware wizard is not open. Okay. This is the last driver reinstall I'm doing. After this, I'm doing, if it doesn't work, I'm doing DDR4 max frequency. So what happened to the 800 series? I like how classified is coming up on that one camera so well. All right. Just gonna go with the fractionally older driver. Yes, I still trust NVIDIA Corporation enough to install their drivers at least. It's nice and cold in here at least. I get a great GPUpi run going once the damn thing works. does such a thorough job of checking system compatibility, and then it still won't boot the next time. Very, very, you know, just very disappointing. Does anyone here like to play poker? I watch quite a few poker streams actually. Gonna be in Vegas at the in a few months' time. Gonna play a little bit. Please work. B290X with a GT710. What? That makes no sense. Or is that Darth Resin? Yay, it works. I'm amazed. Should I jinx it by throwing in the 980? I think I'm going to throw in the 980 once this boots up and everything looks good in GPUZ. Oh, I beat your 980X. Yeah, with the SS. That was a zip tie job. Okay, we've got our card identified. I'm gonna drop the resolution a bit so people can actually see. So we've got good old Samsung GDDR5. Oh, PCI Express is at 1.1. Not that it makes any difference for GPUpi, but that might be one of the reasons my 3 Mark 11 was pretty bad. A 76.3 ASIC. Okay, I know it's a weird number. It doesn't really relate to much, but okay. We've got our CUDA in there. It's being identified as a CUDA device. Okay, this is going places. I'm gonna throw in the 980 if I get the same. That driver was just borked. That driver must have been completely broken for Maxwell. Oh, hold on, I need to get another power cable potentially. Or rather two. I've got a 1500 Corsair power supply, so that's pretty good with multi GPU setups. Yeah, 9080X. I wanted to buy one of these gelid custom VRM heatsinks to really push it on LN2. I think 32B on that is just slinky on water, so I definitely want to go back to that card. But it's like just completely disassembled now. I want to, next time I run it, I just want to run it on a pot or on SS. This is looking more promising. I wonder if GPUpi is really gonna, you know them. Oh, yeah, those heat sinks. I think Maker somebody gave me the recommendation because everybody was saying, oh, that's a reference 29080X you've got there. It's gonna run full pot, but it's gonna blow up its VRM. Be really careful and stuff. So that's what I ordered on Amazon.com, and after a couple of months of saying it's out of stock, they just kind of sent me an email saying, would it be all right for us to refund you because this is never going to actually send. So that was a bit stupid, waste of time. So I just lost display out, and now it's back. Okay, that's just the usual. Yes, I've got Kuda, and I can pick both cards here. We're gonna have some fun. I was almost close to finishing this stream. This is we're only getting started here. If this really runs, hell yeah. Okay. Let's see. Do we have? So Afterburner is giving me only the TI as an. Oh, it's giving me both as an option. Let's see what the thermals are like. The TI has 34 degrees. I'm not sure what the paste jobs are like here. Okay, TI is first in the list. Let's just overclock the TI. And I seem to have pretty good core voltage control here. All the way up to 1.3. That's quite decent. Should I be? Maybe I should be having a look at Strix as well. No. I mean, the FGA utility. Just going to quickly copy over the FGA utility, EVGA. What is it called again? Precision X. Precision. Yeah, I just don't want to. But 1.3, wow, that almost sounds like a cold voltage, straight out of the box in MSI Afterburner. Usually Afterburner is quite restrictive about these sort of things. I'm learning stuff here. So 875 seems to be stock volts, and this is only giving me 50 millivolts. Now whether the other utility really applies is a different thing. I've got power target control here. I've got power target control here too. Core clock goes up to plus 1000. Same here. I don't see any reason to use Precision X unless that little bit of voltage control is significant. Okay, let's of course first go full fan speed to reduce the load temps. Voltage is showing as 0. I'm a little bit hesitant about upping the voltage, but of course first we need to. Oh, I applied plus 1000 core clock. I probably shouldn't have. Let's try that again. Save a profile as well. Let's try plus 150 core. I think is a reasonable starting point. Oh, hold on, we have display out on this card. Scrap that. Scrap that. We're overclocking the other card, of course. Same deal. Can go 124 power limit here. Core clock doesn't seem to be applying. This is quite loud. Getting close to the mic now. Yeah, I'm not seeing a core clock applying. So I am actually going to go to Precision X to see what's up in there. Okay, that did apply. Even though I'm a little bit worried by the sensors, I'm going to have to keep an eye on those. So what's everybody running in terms of reductions and things? $22.56. Yeah, that's a little bit different to we are getting load clocks, so that's good. And the speed is just insane. The record is 18 seconds. Temps are... I don't have to care about the whole efficiency thing too much now. Let's try 300. It applied. 24-second run. Slower than the last run. That's kind of weird. That is weird. Still going up though. I know why, I was boosting the clocks on the wrong card. Okay, let's focus here. Okay, that's a fail. Batch 4 fail. Yeah, I saw Wilco. Should be a more obvious way for them to distinguish it. I'm liking where this is going though. I could imagine this being a pretty sweet setup for Sub-Zero. Reducing the mem clock a bit. Now this is interesting. We've got some sort of output here telling us that we were hitting the power limit, so I'm going to definitely reduce my mem clock as much as I can. Now whether that really applies is a completely different matter. $24.2. That's half a second better. Oh, it does apply the mem drop. That's interesting. No longer power throttling. Let's go all the way. Let's go minus 500. And under 24 seconds would be pretty sweet. Power throttling again. $24,052. Gotta save that too. $230, $225. Let's go 220. Maybe NV Inspector can drop memory even more. Oh, this is the TI. Never mind. Here we go. No, that's as far down as you can go. Yeah, we're bouncing off the power limit. Maybe pull back the voltage a bit. 24,027. It's really close. Gonna give it a hair less voltage. That should do. So we have more stable clocks. Yeah, alright. Starting a 32B run. But that's going to be the end of the stream. I learned a lot today in terms of GPUpi on cards, I have to say. Thanks for listening all. It's getting kind of late here, but for an ambient stream, it's been a lot of fun. Hey, Palygod. You just turned up at the wrong time. But I'll answer your question gladly. What's up? Wait 5 minutes. I will. So for Slinky has a 32B run on GPUpi version 3.2. He does batch 20M 128. Oh, here we go. First batch is out at 1 minute. Okay, that's going to be like a 20 minute GPUpi run. It's not bad. Just going to up the RPM a little bit because we're at 75 degrees. Just got to make sure everything goes okay. So the 1060. I've got my beer here to entertain me. Just waiting for that to open up and switch. Okay. It's always tricky with Pascal because of the way it scales and stuff. So you're at plus 450 and your boost is up 45 and you have your power target maxed. I don't own a 1060 personally, so let me check on HiRobot while batch 2 is out at 2 minutes. I assume you have the 6GB version. I think the 3GB version is much less common. And what are you running this card in? Which bench? I'm just going to go with Fire Strike. With ambient cooling. Let's look at Schleemann's. Slow Aussie internet. Oh, well, that's unfortunate placement, isn't it? Let's just look at a different result. Bruno does pretty good usually. That's a bit better. Card's still running fine. 58 degrees temps. Just checking. Yeah, we're hitting the power limit, but So it seems to be most people get about 1700 on the core and 400 plus on the memory. Do you have Samsung memory on your card? So 400 on the memory seems pretty good. So you got 445. I'd recommend MSI Afterburner though. This gigabyte hours utility isn't the best. Afterburner is pretty good for most cards. But yeah, just so you're at 80, 90, 93 on the boost. Yeah, it's good. Are you gaming at these settings or benching? So I've got a 3 mic result there. Fire strike. $2,000 core is really decent. Yeah, well done. Just keep pushing it. Maybe attach a water cooling loop to it or something. Paddy God, if you haven't pressed the follow button yet, please do. I'm actually just... How far away am I? I'm 6 followers away from Twitch affiliate. So that's pretty nice. I'm actually only 4 followers away now. Next stream it's gonna happen. It's destiny. Well, gaming's fun too. That is gonna do it for this stream though. It is late at night. It's been fun. Thanks for the follow. You found me on YouTube. That's interesting. Cool. Come back next stream. I'll do some liquid nitrogen overclocking. So, finally, end of stream. It's been fun, guys. See you next time.